All right, so I'm most grateful for Freehold Raceway for allowing me to come back in the paddock and see racing that a lot of people don't get to see. These horses are going out now for the second race. And my buddy Irish Joe Haney, there he is. I'll buy you lunch after the race. And the good news is he's got a shot today because Jimmy Marone isn't here. So, you know, there is that possibility. I'm going to walk down to the end and you can see the racetrack from a different perspective. See the racetrack? And this is actually the bridge that goes over Route 9. Just gonna keep this going. I don't know if it's ever been done. I haven't seen anything like this online. I'll put it up on YouTube. It'll keep the memories going. Bittersweet to be here today. Bittersweet to be here. 50 years. Since I was 17 years old, coming from the Bronx down to Freehold Raceway. You can probably hear the traffic. How you doing, Tyler? Can't tell you how old this room is where the drivers would basically stay all day because they wouldn't go back up because most of them were in most of the races. And the history of those drivers and some of the things they might have done here. There goes Irish Joe Haney. Let's go in this. As you can see Route 9 now.
And the horse is on track to take second base. It's all decent and final map for the early daily double. It's off the early big four races 2-5. Let's meet the field. Number 1 is Boomer Taylor. Oh my Judy Mack.
So this is definitely a different perspective.
The 2 is Wild Ground. Oh my
How many years I spent over there.
The drivers all state Siegelman. 3 is Lucky Down. Only trainer Mike Grant. Drivers Irish Joe Haney. Number 4 is My Wish Came True. Oh my Red Incorporated. Trained by Ted Selesky. The driver is Jimmy Ginsburg.
This is actually the state vet. And of course she watches in case horses are not warming up and lame. She'll call for them to be scratched.
Trained by Brandon Mongiello. Looking to sweep the early double, Jacob Cunning.
And if you can imagine on a Saturday through the 90s at least, but I can remember in the 80s,
The driver's adjustment up and off.
there were 5 to 10,000 people across there, standing room only. But unfortunately, this is what has happened to standardbred racing.
Trained by Warren Cannell, the driver James Foley, in Nozolki. That's the field. This kicks off the second and final half of the early daily double, and it kicks off the early big four. Races 2 through 5. No changes in your early big four races. Exactly a triple, 10-cent super with placement show wagering. Post time for today's second race. You got 1 minute to post. Just one.
I want to thank Freehold Raceway again for allowing me to do this. It's kind of emotional, actually. God, so many events here for the last over 10 years. 4 to 6 events a year. Some of the great sports guys that were kind enough to come down and help for our charity endeavors.
This will be your final goal to wager in today's second race. You have to hurry.
I think it's going to be very hard coming in December to come here. Even the room is empty, just one trainer. So what will happen now is this is what's called they scored. In the winter when it's real cold, they'll score only once, but they've scored twice. And then you'll see the starting cart in a moment. And then eventually he'll call them and he's in control of the starter to the start of the race. And of course they go around twice. It is such a different perspective from over here. But look at the grandstand. I mean, it is in the 60s today, quite windy, beautifully sunny, but I don't count 50 people outside. And there used to be thousands. One of these days I gotta ask Mike, the track superintendent, are there any fish in this pond? I know there's a few of his golf balls in here. It's not easy standing here. I've loved this since I was a teenager. I snuck into Yonkers, and it was tough to sneak into Yonkers at that time. They had guards at the gates. You had to be 18 to be in the track. We were 12 and 13. And unfortunately, when I raced last in Yonkers a few years ago when I had some horses, the same fence that I used to climb over is still there. But now, of course, you could be any age coming in. So we're just getting ready now. You can see the starter's car, just so you know. He'll move up here in a moment, and that's when they'll know that they need to come behind the gate. A lot of different drivers now, a lot of young drivers here now. Tyler Miller, son of a Julie, and Andy Miller right here coming up in the orange. He's been doing fairly well here. Of course, Jimmy Maroon, my all-time favorite harness driver, is not here today. He's racing in Poconos for some big races. Now, the first quarter is almost always faster than the second quarter, and sometimes the fastest quarter of the mile. And they will come by us twice.